You send a text you're sure is perfect, and then you get hit with silence. 1 minute she's warm and responsive, the next she's cold and distant, and you're just left staring at your phone wondering, what did I do wrong? That glowing screen felt like a bridge between you two just hours ago, and now it feels like a brick wall. The constant rereading of every word, the second guessing, the anxiety. It's a terrible feeling, and honestly, most of us have been there. The truth is, you might be sending one of 5 attraction-killing messages without even knowing it, and I'm not talking about simple typos or bad jokes. I'm talking about messages that fundamentally change how she sees you. They send a subconscious signal about your confidence, your value, and your mindset that secretly kills her attraction. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what those 5 messages are, why they push her away, and what you should send instead to build mystery, keep her engaged, and make her want more. First up, the mistake that will instantly tank her attraction is sending the overly emotional novel. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that massive wall of text where you spill out all your feelings, insecurities, or your entire life story way too soon. Maybe you had an amazing first date, and you suddenly feel compelled to send a 5-paragraph essay about how you've never felt a connection like this before. Or maybe you're just having a bad day, and you decide to vent to her about your boss, your ex, or all your personal problems. Here's the deal. Attraction, especially in the beginning, thrives on mystery and curiosity. When you send a super long or heavy emotional message right out of the gate, you're trying to fast forward a process that needs to happen naturally. It's just too much, too soon. From her side, this screams neediness and a lack of emotional control. It's overwhelming, and it puts her in a really awkward spot. She barely knows you, but suddenly she feels responsible for your emotional state. That's not intriguing. It's intensant. Intensity without comfort is the perfect recipe for making someone pull back. It subconsciously tells her you don't have other friends or outlets to lean on, which lowers your value in her eyes and kills the fun, playful vibe that texting is supposed to be for. So, what do you do instead? Easy. Keep your early text interactions light, playful, and mostly focused on logistics. The goal of texting isn't to build the whole relationship on your phone. It's just to build enough interest and comfort to set up the next time you see her in person. If you feel that urge to write a novel, just stop, put the phone down, go do something else, and come back to it when you're feeling less intense. Instead of, I had such an amazing time with you, I can't stop thinking about our conversation. Try something simple and confident, like, last night was fun. That little Italian place you mentioned. We're going next week. See the difference? It's confident. It assumes she wants to see you again, and it moves the interaction forward into the real world. That's where the real connection gets built. The second attraction killer isn't just one text, but a series of them. The incessant follow-up. This is the classic double, triple, or even quadruple text when she hasn't responded yet. You send a message, an hour goes by, and your mind starts racing. Did she get it? Is she ignoring me? Was it something I said? So, you send another one. Hey, just seeing if you got my last message. Or even worse, the passive-aggressive. Are you there? Let's be real for a second. Bombarding her with messages is one of the fastest ways to look desperate and insecure. It tells her you have nothing better to do than sit around and wait for her to validate you. Women are drawn to men with a purpose and a full life. A guy who is glued to his phone waiting for a reply just doesn't project that image. Every follow-up text you send chips away at her perception of you as a high-value, confident man. It suffocates the space she needs to actually wonder about you, to miss you, and to decide on her own that she wants to message you back. The solution here requires a powerful mindset shift. Send it and forget it. Once you send a text, your job is done. You have to operate from a place of abundance, understanding that her response time probably has very little to do with you. She could be in a meeting, at the gym, out with friends, or simply not in the mood to text. Freaking out about her reply, speed only creates anxiety for you that doesn't need to be there. A confident man sends his text and immediately gets back to his own life, his work, his hobbies, his friends. He isn't waiting for a reply. He's busy living. If she texts back, great. If not, he's unbothered because his self-worth isn't tied to her response. Give her the space to choose to come to you. And when she does reply, don't punish her for the delay with a salty comment like, "Oh, look who decided to text back." Just carry on the conversation smoothly and playfully. That calm, unbothered response is way more attractive than any follow-up text could ever be. By the way, if you're recognizing some of your own texting habits here, and this is hitting home, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're all about giving you the unfiltered advice you need to level up your dating life, and learning from these small mistakes is the first step. The third message you've got to avoid is the vague, late-night text. We all know it. It's the "you up?" or "what are you doing?" sent sometime after 11 p.m. A lot of guys send this thinking it seems spontaneous and casual, but let's be honest, its meaning is rarely misunderstood. Unless you've already established a purely physical relationship, this text sends confusing signals and often blows up in your face if you're actually hoping for something more. The problem with this message is that it just screams low effort and low confidence. It feels like you're refishing for a little attention or validation without taking any real social risk. For a woman who might be interested in a real relationship, this kind of text is a huge turnoff. It can make her feel like you only see her as a late-night option, not as someone you respect enough to plan an actual date with. More often than not, it comes across as you being lonely, not you being genuinely interested in her. It's a weak move that lumps you in with every other guy in her DMs, instead of making you stand out as the man she's excited to see. The solution: be direct and plan ahead. If you want something casual, that's fine, but own it from an empowered, honest place, not from a weak late-night text. But if you want her to chase you for something real, you need to use your texts to build excitement for actual dates. Instead of a late-night "you up?", send her a text earlier in the day or the day before with a clear, confident plan. Something like, "I've got a sudden craving for that cocktail bar we talked about. You free Friday night?" This shows you have intention, confidence, and respect for her time. It shows her you think about her when it's not late and lonely. A man with a plan is a man who knows what he wants, and that kind of clarity is infinitely more attractive. The fourth message you have to stop sending is any text that starts or continues an argument. Texting is an absolutely terrible place to handle conflict or discuss anything sensitive. Why? Because it has no tone, no facial expressions, and no body language. All the things you need to understand what someone really means. A comment that might sound totally fine in person can come across as sarcastic, aggressive, or dismissive over text. Trying to resolve a misunderstanding or debate a serious issue by sending angry paragraphs back and forth almost always makes things worse. You can't see each other's reactions, so it's easy to create a negative story in your head. You start reading her words in the harshest possible tone. She reads yours the same way, and the whole thing spirals into a cycle of misinterpretation. Trying to have a serious emotional fight through a screen creates drama, not intimacy. It shows a lack of emotional maturity and an inability to handle difficult conversations like an adult. Women aren't attracted to drama, and they're definitely not attracted to a man who creates it through his phone. The solution is simple, but it takes discipline. Don't argue over text, period. If you feel a conversation getting tense or you feel misunderstood, it's your job to step up, de-escalate the digital back and forth, and move it to a better place. Send a text that says, "Hey, this feels like something we should talk about properly. Free for a quick call tonight?" Or, "I don't think texting is the best way to figure this out. Let's talk about it when I see you on Thursday." Doing this does a few powerful things at once. It immediately stops the fight from getting worse. It shows you're mature enough to recognize the limits of texting. And it shows leadership by guiding the conversation to a more productive setting. Handling disagreements calmly and respectfully builds trust. Fighting over text destroys it. And the final mistake: sending a string of boring, interview-style questions. "How was your day? What are you doing? Where are you from? What do you like to do for fun?" While you might be genuinely curious, this approach turns a potentially fun, flirty conversation into a monotonous job interview. It puts all the pressure on her to be interesting and to carry the conversation, and that gets old really fast. The problem with interview texts is that they don't spark any emotion. They're logical, they're predictable, and frankly, they're boring. She's getting those exact same questions from a dozen other guys, so this does absolutely nothing to set you apart. Attraction is built on emotion, laughter, excitement, intrigue. A checklist of biographical questions doesn't create any of that. It just signals that you don't know how to lead a fun, engaging conversation, which makes you seem uninteresting by association. The solution is to stop asking so many questions and start making more statements. Instead of "what are you up to?" try a playful assumption like, "Don't tell me you're already beginning that new Netflix show we talked about." It's more engaging and gives her something fun to react to. Instead of "how was your day?" share a quick, interesting highlight from your own. For example, "just finished a killer project at work. I say we celebrate with drinks this weekend." It's a statement that also leads directly to a date. Use humor and playful teasing. The goal is to make her feel something when she sees your name pop up on her screen. Make her smile or laugh. Ditch the interview and focus on creating a fun, emotional experience. That's what will separate you from every other guy in her phone and make her excited to hear from you. So there you have it. The overly emotional novel, the incessant follow-up, the late-night Hail Mary, arguing over text, and the boring job interview. All 5 of these mistakes come from the exact same place: a mindset of neediness and a lack of core confidence. They all communicate that you're seeking validation from her instead of building a connection with her. The real key to making her chase you is to flip that mindset. Your life is the main event, and she's a welcome addition to it, not the center of it. Texting isn't a tool for getting approval. It's a tool for planning logistics and building a light, playful vibe. Use it to create intrigue, make her laugh, and set up real, in-person dates where a genuine connection can actually grow. When you start communicating from a place of confidence and purpose, your texting will change naturally. You'll stop overthinking, and you'll start attracting. If you've ever made one of these mistakes, and let's be honest, we've all been there, drop a comment below and let me know which one it was. There's zero shame in the game. Learning is what this is all about. And if you want more direct, no BS advice on building unstoppable confidence, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Until then, happy texting.